Whenever the Igbos in Nigeria want to talk about Biafra, whenever they want to talk about unifying all the Igbo-speaking people all over the world, people tend to tell them, mind your 5 states. Mind your 5 states. And that makes me laugh hysterically. That begs the question and left me wondering, what do you people even think a state is? Listen, a state is a political creation, a political territorial integrity that tends to separate families from families, that tends to separate brothers from brothers. That was why Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie in Half of a Yellow Sun said, I am a Nigerian because the white man created Nigeria and gave me that identity. I am black because the white man constructed black to be as different as possible from his white. But I am Igbo before the white man came. So how can you allow what is a political creation to determine your origin? And in case you don't know, it was on the 27th of May 1967 that Yakubu Gowon created 12 states out of the old eastern region. Why did he do that? When you read There Was a Country by Chinua Achebe, you will find out that Gowon did that simply because he wanted to landlock the Igbos. He wanted to weaken the strength of the old eastern region because he knew that the black gold, which is the crude oil, is one of the prime motivation of the Biafran secession from Nigeria. And so he wanted to crumble the Biafran strength. And because he noticed that the people that reside at the Delta area dread the core Igbo domination, and so he wanted to give them a sense of ownership, that these people are not your people, you are on your own. And they succeeded, because today brothers are denying brothers simply because they are not in the 5 so-called states they say where Igbos only belong. And I laugh, because you are a victim of gumbo diplomacy. You are a victim of Machiavellian manipulation. You are a victim of gumbo diplomacy, and such perception is Shibolite and antediluvian. I hope you get enlightened. And when you want to talk, people want to talk about South-South. What is South-South? South-South is a political creation, something that was created out of Machiavellian manipulation, a region that was created because of negative ethnicity. South-South was created in 1990. How will you allow what was created barely 28 years to determine your origin? What a pity. Listen, when Lord Lugard came to Nigeria, he met something. He met something, and that was why he tried to amalgamate what he met in 1914, the North and the Southern Protectorate. Use your head. Let me point history to you in case you want to learn. It was on the 7th of October 1949 that Germany divided into 2. You had the East and the Western Germany. Why? The Western Germany was in alliance with the United States of America, with Britain and France, and they wanted to be a capitalist state. And the East Germany was in alliance with Soviet Union, and they became a communist state. And because of that, Germany was divided into 2, the East and the West Germany, on the 7th of October 1949. But because they are Europeans and they knew their core origin, they worked constructively towards unifying Germany, and they achieved it. On the 3rd of October 1990, the wall that devastated Germany was brought down, and Germany was unified at last. But I tell you for a fact, if Germany was to be in Africa, to date, you will still be having the East and the Western Germany, because I don't know why we have allowed the lies they told us to sink into us, hook, line, and sinker. Who did this to you? Who did this to you? Tomorrow, someone from Congo Brazzaville will say it's not related to someone from Democratic Republic of Congo or Sudan and South Sudan. How can you want to landlock a nation with just 5 states? That is unacceptable. If you can have Yoruba-speaking people in Togo and Igbo-speaking people in Cuba, how come you cannot have Igbo people in Rivers and Igbo people in Delta? You want to tell me the Igbos in Cuba are not Igbos? So if you accept such lie, how do you want to live with it? Stop lying to yourself. I thought you would have learned by now. Because on the 7th of October 1967, When the federal troops entered Asaba, the people of Asaba welcomed them and said, we are not Igbos. We are one Nigeria. What happened? How did the federal government respond? They buy over 800 to 700 people. Yet, you have not learned. You cannot be welcomed where you are not welcomed. I am not a promoter of negative ethnicity. I do not indulge myself in tribalism, but I have a conscious effort to make sure that people unify with their origin, irrespective of where you are in Africa. And for those of you in West Africa, God bless you. And those in all part of Africa, God bless you. But the better and the earlier you start on learning what they forced you to learn, the better for you. In 1967, your state was created. On the 27th of May 1967 by Yakubu Gowon, 12 states. All of a sudden, you said the people that were previously in your states are no longer your brothers because of a political creation, because of a political engineering. State is not a divine creation. State is man-made. Use your head. Liberate yourself. Liberate yourself before it's too late, Africa.
Have you heard that before? They say, mind your 5 states. Mind your 5 states. I hear people like Wounded Civilian and several of them, they tell you, mind your 5 states. It is more like a growing anthem. But they forgot that a state or states are political creation. The people and the land have been there before the state was created. The people and the land has been there with their language, with their unions, with their way of doing things before state creation map were there. In the name of state creation, especially in Nigeria, a lot of evils have been committed. Can you imagine? Abo and Ibanke, they are same people, same meeting, same blood, doing things together. Because of one Obemudia, this and that, Abo remained in Delta State. Then Ibanke was put in Edo State, and each of them at the borders. Evil in the name of state creation. Today you hear Imo people say, Anambra did this. These Anambra people. Who are the Anambra people? Is it not because somebody made a pronouncement, said, this area is considered Anambra? Who are they before they created this area? Who are they before they said, okay, this side and this side are under a state called Anambra? You hear Ebonyi people say, this Anambra people, and you hear Anambra people say, this Ebonyi people, you hear Enugu people say, this Anambra people, this Anambra people, they too, you hear Abia people say, this, all sort of things, because there has been a demarcation. Meanwhile, who are the Ikwere people today? Who are the Opobo people? Who are the Eche people? They all speak Igbo. Who are they in 1950? You can't hear anything in River State or this. Who are they? Like I used to say, and everybody knows, Igbos existed before that nonsense. So why do we appear divided just because somebody said, okay, this area is now under this area is now under this? Who are we before those creations? Who are we before Gowon said, oh, these people are not, they saw our weaknesses and they cashed in on it to divide us. Today you hear Wike say, I'm not Igbo. Meanwhile, not all Ikwere people say they are not Igbo. A lot of them identify as Igbo. And some identify as wherever. Because of Babangida state divided by Babangida in 1990s. You see quarrels here and there. Who are we first before the states were divided? Igbos even existed before the territory called Nigeria came to be. Yes, Igbos were existing before they merged Nigeria, brought the Northern Protectorate, according to them, merged with the Southern Protectorate. And let me tell you, Nigeria is a British creation. British business interests from different sides merged together. They added trains, yes, rail lines, moving their good from this side to this side. And for the sake of comfort of doing their business, they merged. Oh, this is now Nigeria. After some discussion, bedroom discussion, Flora Shaw and her boyfriend, Lord Rugard, after discussion, Lord Rugard was working for the Royal Niger Company. And they said, let's give, maybe after taking coffee and, doing other things, let's name them Nigeria. Who are we before it was called Nigeria? So now you understand, Nigeria was merged for their interests till today. It is not for our interest. It is not as if God created it and said, this is Nigeria. It was business interests marched against the will of the people, because how many people were consulted? Can you imagine they went to part of Igbo land, the Onitsha area, which is part of Anambra today. They went to there, they said, oh, this river passed this way. Okay, that side is now Midwest. And this side is Eastern Nigeria, Eastern region. That one is Midwestern region. Meanwhile, there have been threats between people in the other side of the river and the other side, right from time immemorial, before even whoever they said discovered River Niger, discovered River Omonne, not River Niger. He discovered his town river. Soon I will go to UK and start discovering rivers there and renaming it for them. They said this one is Midwestern region. They said this one is Eastern region. They said this one is Northern region. They said this one is Western region, blah, blah, blah. As if God created them that way. And from that time, Ahaba people, they call Asaba today, they began to see the people from the other side differently. I am not really against state creation, but I used to ask, what was the motive? From regional map, we have the sub-regions and the rest of them. Then states, they created the states and now splitted the region further into what we call sub-regions. You have the South-South. What is South-South? They say Southeast. What is Southeast? Where do you find these things in different parts of the world? God once splitted. He saw our differences where we had slight disagreements. They don't want this to be dominant. They gave them state quickly. And it worked for them. And some of us are helping it still work for them today. And, it was after Middle Belt started, they want an identity because they are not the same with people from the core north. They are very, very different. They wanted Middle Belt. No, some people doesn't want Middle Belt. They say it is not central, but it's Middle Belt. Is that area supposed to be northern part of this country? The northern part of the setup called Nigeria. And they divided, in their divide and rule map, they said Igbos outside the place they call Southeast are different. They are not Igbos. In their divide and rule 5 states, that has never been from time immemorial. That was a recent creation. They tried to distance us from coastal Igbos. They're supposed to be coastal Igbos. Igbos in coastal land and we Igbos in hinterland. They still don't want that. It is the 5 states of the Southeast that are Igbos. Others are not. I thank God a lot of these people are waking up. The coastal Igbo people are waking up. They know that we need to unify. We are not talking about separation here. No, we need to do things together. We need to act as one. That love that has been, that relationship that has been before the creation of this country, we need to restore it. They tell you it's an Igbo coup. Because of the participation of people like Nzogu. They tell you it's an Igbo coup. Now they tell you, Nzogu is from Midwestern. He's not an Igbo. Who are they playing? Why are you allowing them to play you? They went to Asaba during the war. Asaba people welcomed them. But they never saw Asaba people as Nigerians. Despite that Asaba people were telling them, just to save themselves from being harmed. And they wasted these people because they know that they are Igbos. But today they tell you they are not Igbos, that Igbos are consigned and confined to Southeast. Can you imagine? Meanwhile, what led to the war? Biafra War. Progress from 1966 coup, which Nzogu was a major participant. They say, mind your 5 states, your 5 southeastern states. Now your papa make us 5, make Igbos only 5 states. Now your papa make them. Meanwhile, I like what is being said, and I am happy people from the coastal areas are also championing the Unified Igbo project. The state is not a divine creation. It is man-made. Please share this video widely. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to our brother's channel. Bye-bye for now.